Coming up on ATV News, there are a lot of changes happening in local schools. We'll show you how it could affect you and your kids. The inversion's gone for now, but you know it'll be back. Find out how it's affecting your health and what you can do about it.
There's nothing but snow all day today, but a little bit more variety coming up throughout the week. I'll tell you all about it during our weather forecast.
Of all the sports last week, there's at least one bright spot. I'll tell you more coming up.
And find out how a local church is changing to meet the needs of Cache Valley residents. All that and more on ATV News.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Aaron Griffiths.
And I'm Emily Landine. Let's take a quick look outside. The snow, it's not snowing anymore, but earlier it was coming down hard and causing quite a few problems. 2 cars crashed on Highway 30 just outside of Tremont. Snow-packed roads caused a westbound vehicle to spin into oncoming traffic and strike another car. Both drivers were taken to local hospitals. This is just one of the many accidents icy weather conditions have caused around the state.
In global news, over the weekend, people struggled to escape flames in Sao Paulo, Brazil, when a popular nightclub burned down. 231 people died, throwing the nation into mourning. 4 people, including the owners of the unlicensed club, have been arrested. An early investigation shows the fire was caused by a band's pyrotechnics. Funerals for the 50 of the victims were held on Monday, while 130 people remain in the hospital. The infamous Cache Valley inversion is at an all-time high this winter.
Jenna Colton is outside to tell us more about what this means for your health. Jenna, how's it looking out there?
Well, as you can see, the crazy snow we've been having the last couple of days has been good for one thing. The inversion's cleared up. But knowing Cache Valley, it'll be back soon. And I went out to tell you what that really means for your health.
Some days you can wake up and actually taste the air and just taste that chemical quality to it.
I tend to cough a lot more with the inversion.
I went running and felt fine, and then the inversion hit, and suddenly I go up a flight of stairs and I'm like, what the crap, I'm running out of breath here.
So the majority of us do feel it when the inversion hits. But what is it actually doing to our health?
You can have manifestations such as heart disease, high blood pressure. It's been linked to cancers, it's been linked to autism, just a whole spectrum of anything that you require your respiratory system and circulatory system for bodily functions. This can interfere with it.
Lung problems are one of the biggest side effects to the inversion, developing conditions like asthma.
My roommate actually just went to the doctors and they told her she
Yeah, so when the inversion comes back, you have to make sure that you stay inside rather than going back outdoors. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jenna. The EPA dubbed Logan's air the worst in the nation earlier this month. To check up on daily air quality, follow @Cache County Air on Twitter.
Jenna just told you about the health problems caused by the inversion, but why is it here in the first place? ATV's Randall Henry went to find out.
Students around campus may be blissfully unaware of what an inversion is and why it affects the valley.
Basically where the gases get trapped in the valley because of the weather.
I think an inversion is when, because of the cold weather and everything, the air in the valley just gets awful and it hurts to breathe.
An inversion is when temperature is increasing with height. Normally it decreases with height. We get inversions in this valley a lot because we get pooling of cold air, and so coldest air at the surface, and as you go up you warm up.
That's a lot of information to digest. Maybe if we looked at it in simpler terms.
Logan Valley is kind of like this bowl. It's a depression in the ground, and cold air sinks. So all the surrounding area's cold air is going to sink into our depression. Now sometimes nature will move into something like a pressure system or a warm air blanket and cover up our valley. Now, all the cold air that's trapped in here can't get out. And it's not going anywhere until Mother Nature decides to remove the blanket.
Does pollution increase the inversion, or does the inversion make pollution more noticeable?
Yeah, there's not much we can do about the inversion happening in the valleys. The air quality would be a result of the strength of the inversion and the amount of pollution that we input into the air. It's essentially a closed system. You don't get a whole lot of mixing of air.
While there isn't anything we can do to stop an inversion, we can reduce emissions, which is the main cause of the bad air in the valley.
Cache Valley School District has drawn up a $99.8 million plan to not only renovate existing schools, but also to build new ones. A high school is zoned to be built in Millville, while an elementary and middle school will be built in Lewiston and North Logan. If approved, the earliest the high school could be used is 2015.
Cache County School District plans to close Providence Elementary School, and the Providence City Council is not happy about it. The school is located in downtown Providence, and city planners worry that vacating the property will negatively impact the future city plans in the downtown area. Members of the City Council unanimously approved a resolution last week requesting the school district to reconsider its plans. The school district hopes to negotiate a transfer of the property to Providence, but tax-related issues make the deal difficult. School closes. Students will be relocated to the existing Spring Creek Middle School building. When we come back, we'll take a look at what the legislative session could mean for Utah State and Cache Valley.
And mental health, bullying, video games, we'll delve into what's behind the recent rise in mass shootings.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
Hey man, what's up? Man, I just got out the club. I'm with two beautiful girls. We're drunk, man. We're so drunk. You got a ride home or are you driving? Yeah. I'm gonna push the Cavalier into gear. Push the Cavalier into gear! Yeah! Oh, no man, don't drive. I'm on my way. Don't worry, I'll be there in a sec.
Thousands gathered on Capitol Hill last week for President Obama's inauguration. But after the festivities, he laid out plans for his second term in office. In his speech, Obama had the economy as one of his top goals. He also promised to protect social programs. Another priority was reforming education to keep the U.S. competitive in the global market. The president plans to make fighting climate change a priority. Obama also made promises to push for legal equality for women and same-sex couples. Finally, Obama talked about his foreign policy priorities, mainly dwelling on the promotion of democracy across the world. All these goals tie into what Obama said is the idea behind America.
What makes us exceptional, what makes us American, is our allegiance to an idea articulated in a declaration made more than 2 centuries ago. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
President Obama has already started accomplishing his administration's goals by signing an executive order last week, which ended a ban on women serving in military combat.
Former U.S. soldier Brendan Morocco, who lost all his limbs in combat, received a double arm transplant last month. According to the Washington Post, Dr. W.P. Andrew Lee led the special team of transplant experts at Johns Hopkins University. According to Pentagon officials, Morocco is the first person to survive the loss of all 4 limbs in the Iraq War. Emergency personnel in Salt Lake spent 30 minutes Monday morning helping to lift a TRAX train off a man after the train ran over him. A spokesman for UTA said the man had been crossing about 100 feet north of the nearest crosswalk before being planted and dragged beneath the train. Officials say the man, who was described to be in his early 20s, was taken to a nearby hospital with critical but not life-threatening injuries. Utah State University will lobby the state for funds during the 2013 Utah legislative session, which opened Monday. USU plans to ask the legislature for $60 million for a new biological sciences building and to renovate labs in the biology and natural resources building. Lobbyists will also seek to approve bond money for the new Aggie Life and Wellness Center.
Recent mass shootings have brought the issue to the national spotlight. But what do all these shootings have in common? Marie Tietze is live with the answer. Marie?
We all know where these shootings happening where these shootings are happening, but why are these shootings happening? I went out to find out why.
It gets you the attention that you crave.
It's like a slow process of it just builds and builds and builds, and then it finally pops.
Mass shootings have been a frequent topic in the media since Columbine. With 8 public shootings since then, people have formed an opinion on why mass shooters kill.
Because there is no simple answer for any of this, people are looking to multiple sources to try and explain it. So we have this discussion about gun control, we have this discussion about mental health in the United States, and we have this discussion about not just media in terms of the news cycle, but also the types of entertainment that are marketed towards kids.
What is seen, heard, and read on here could potentially have an impact on what happens out here and up here.
These are predominantly white males, especially in the last few years. Not only white males, but white males between the ages of 19 and 25.
According to the National Institute of Mental Health, 1 in 4 people will suffer from a mental illness in their lifetime. And you are highly susceptible to developing a mental illness between the ages of 19 and 25.
Basically mental health, the issues that may crop up in people around this age that might provide, at least in some part, if not the motivation, might not hinder them from necessarily engaging in this type of behavior.
As Professor Van Geem said, there are factors that do go into it, but mental health is definitely one of them we need to think about.
Thanks, Marie. For more information on mental illness, visit nimh.gov.
Well, it has just been so cold lately.
It really has. The snow has been killing me too. I got stuck actually over the weekend.
Oh my gosh, it's the worst. But will it stop? Tamara Bradley will have our weather forecast right after this.
All your cares are over. Not so fast there, pupil. You still need to decide on a career.
Don't worry about that, announcer guy. Come on into the Career Center, located in the University Inn, and discuss your goals and concerns with advisors who are here to help you get into the fields that you're interested in. There are many resources, including counseling, a career coach, publications, professional interviews, and much more to help you get that job. The Career Center, 797-777. The Copy Center on the first floor of the TSC is open Monday through Friday, 7 to 6, for all your document needs. Let the trained staff help you print important documents. Services include binding, color copies, custom gifts from your favorite photos, and last-minute items like pencils, report covers, and especially Scantrons. The Copy Center. We're here to help.
Man, so Tamara, please tell me that we've got an end to this snow out there.
It's been so cold, I can't even handle it anymore.
I know it has been, and you know, the snow is going to keep coming a little bit, but the temperatures aren't that bad. We'll take a look at some of the national temperatures right over here. Outside, it looks like the snow has stopped though. Not a whole lot going on out there now, but here's a map of our national temperatures. Looks like down in the southern states, not too bad. They're staying in the mid-70s, which is nice for this time of the year. In the Midwest, they're staying fairly moderate as well. The coldest areas are up in the Montana areas. Conrad, Montana was at a -1 last time I checked, so that's kind of a cold front up there. Utah is staying pretty moderate as well. But we'll take a look at the precipitation here as we go on. It looks like the southern states are staying pretty dry, not very many storms occurring there. Mostly the storms are happening up in the Oregon area. The red shows 3 to 4 inches of snow up there, so that's where they're getting the most. Nothing quite like that is going on down in the lower valleys, but it's pretty dry. However, there is a significant storm warning predicted this evening in the central states, and the main threats are strong winds. They even talked about maybe a tornado down there, which was kind of surprising, but maybe want to take caution down there. As for Utah, most of the heavy snow is happening in the north and in the mountains. It's expected to get 16 inches, 8 to 16 inches, which is quite a bit. Nothing like that is going down in the valleys though. There's definitely some moisture, but nothing too heavy to worry about. As I said earlier, it stopped snowing now. Let's take a look at our 5-day forecast. It looks like on Tuesday, today, it's 25 degrees. There is some snow out there, and the low is going to be 16, not super bad. On Wednesday, it looks like there's just as much snow, maybe not quite as much of a chance, more of a 60% chance of snow on Wednesday with a low of 25. Thursday, it's starting to clear up a little bit, but not quite so much. It's a 30 is the high up there, and we've got 21 for the low. Taking a look at Fridays though, we've got some sunshine coming in, even with some clouds still, but not a chance of snow on that day. The low for Friday is a 3. For the most part, we're staying in those double digits, but Friday does get pretty chilly at night. And then on Saturday, we've got a 27 with a few clouds and a 10 for the low, which isn't too bad. Some moderate temperatures there. But that's pretty much what we've got going on for this week.
Well, it doesn't look like we can expect a stop in any snowstorm very fast,
No,
which we
that's
live in
true.
Utah, so I guess we shouldn't be expecting that.
Thanks, Tamara. All right, sports is coming up next.
We'll have all the Aggie action coming up in just a moment.
We are an art museum, so there are not too many museums that specialize in collecting art. And we collect contemporary and modern art, which is very different than most art that's shown in the Valley. We're directly next to the new Performance Hall. And we are always free, and so it's a cheap date. And it's a nice, quiet place just to, enjoy looking at some different things that maybe you wouldn't see here normally in Cache Valley. You don't have to travel to go to see the West Coast. You can just come here and see the artwork.
The mission of the Bear River Health Department is to promote healthy lifestyles and protect the individual and community. Dozens of valuable services are offered every day at the Health Department. Substance abuse counseling, women and children's services, immunizations, environmental testing, and emergency preparedness are just a few of the many services that all residents of Cache Valley enjoy. For more information, visit their website at brhd.org. The most important service provided by Utah State University Police is your safety.
In addition to the normal criminal investigations that we do, we provide a number of other services. Probably fingerprinting is our biggest. We also do motorist assist. We do a wide variety of community services. We do presentations, we do personal escorts. All they got to do is call our office and we'll send somebody up.
Stop paying those expensive citations. Stop putting quarters in the meters and always running out of time. Stop having to pay for parking by the hour. Instead, visit the Transportation and Parking Office and buy a parking permit. Then you can go on to happy parking.
Well, Meredith, I'm going to say it, not a great week for Aggie sports.
No, it definitely wasn't. It was a little bit of a struggle. All men's basketball teams struggled, gymnastics struggled. Women's basketball, though, was a bright spot.
That's true.
And I will tell you guys all about it right now. The USU men's basketball team tried to bounce back from a loss as they hosted UT Arlington Thursday. Spencer Butterfield recorded career highs in rebounds with 11 and 23 points, leading the team. The Aggies ultimately fell short, 74-68. The men's basketball team looked to end their 4-game losing streak on Saturday when they hosted Louisiana Tech at the Spectrum. Our Jason Borba was there for the heart-stopping action.
The student section believed the Aggies could end their 4-game slide and put a stop to the Bulldogs' 9-game win streak. But from the opening tip-off, the first half belonged to La Tech. Here, Jared Shaw tips in the first bucket of the game, but from there, the Bulldogs took control. USU shot a mere 29% and was forced into 10 turnovers that led to easy baskets like this one.
Some nights it just doesn't go down. I think we were a little rushed on some of our shots. But sometimes it doesn't go down. So.
La Tech was feeling it from beyond the arc, pouring in 7 threes in the first half. It wasn't all bad for the Aggies. Shaw had a good game around the rim and led USU with 21 points and 14 rebounds. But La Tech took a 13-point lead into halftime.
It was a crazy first half where the Aggies had plenty of turnovers and Louisiana Tech was shooting it from downtown. The Aggies are down 35-22. The second half is about to begin. We'll see what the Aggies can do.
In the second half, the Aggies turned up the defensive pressure and finally started making some shots. USU was able to claw back into the game and cut the lead to 4 on a couple of occasions. Here, Butterfield hits a free throw to tie the game at 48 with under 2 minutes to go. But the Bulldogs responded right back with a 3 by Raheem Appleby.
And their first team all WAC player, Appleby, makes what turns out to be the game winner. Our first team all WAC player's got a cast on his hand.
This three-pointer by Kenneth Smith with 14 seconds remaining could have ended the game, but his miss gave the Aggies a chance at overtime. Marcel Davis gets trapped, but he finds a wide-open Ben Clifford. He launches the 3 at the buzzer. Oh, but it's off the mark. La Tech survives 51-48.
Yeah, I thought it was in, but unfortunately it didn't go in. And just got to learn from it and just try to move on and stay positive.
Jason Borba, ATV Sports.
Well, the loss of Preston Medlin and Keyshawn Reed has definitely taken its toll on the team. They are now on a 4-game slide. Their next game is in Moscow, Idaho, against the University of Idaho. Aggie Gymnastics flipped into the Spectrum last Friday. They led through 3 events, but then they moved to floor. Fans came out in full force, but the Aggies were edged out of a win by 1 event. They rolled to 2 event titles and an all-around win. The Aggies opened up the tri-meet between Hamline University and Southern Utah on vault. Paige Jones hit a 9.825 on her vault, while freshman Kinsey Martinez hit a 9.825 also. Moving to bars, USU was led by Martinez. She finished off her career night with another 9.825 to win the bars title. Paige Jones added 9.8. With 2 hit events, the Aggies headed to Beam. The gymnast struggled, but sophomore Sarah Landis hit a 9.825 to win the event. The Aggies then fell apart on floor, losing a nearly 2-point lead on just 1 event. Landis did her best, though, adding a career high, and freshman Haley Sanzotti nailed a career high 9.7 as well. Landis took home the all-around crown, and the Aggies came in second to Southern Utah.
They came out and they were a little bit tentative, tried to really go after their landings, and at this time in the season, they got to remember they have to go hard and over-rotate those landings, so that they're making it to their feet.
2.5 events went great. Everybody was pumped, psyched to be home. So, we just got to work on keeping that energy and momentum through the end of the meet.
The falls on floor were very inconsistent, but throughout the meet, the Aggies said they felt they competed well. The women's basketball team was on the road this weekend. On Thursday, the Lady Aggies took on UT Arlington and came away with a 93-83 victory. Devin Christensen led all scorers with 21 points and 7 assists. On Saturday, they were back in action, this time against Louisiana Tech. It was a dramatic overtime, 76-75 overtime victory for USU. Jenna Johnson hit the game winner with 5 seconds to play. The Aggies will try to ride this momentum into their games this weekend with Idaho and Seattle.
Really made a lot of havoc in the top 3 spots by winning all, so we want to appeal to Cache Valley and to our student body and to our fans that these 2 games coming up Thursday and Saturday are really big for us.
If the Aggies win both games this weekend, they could pass Seattle in the WAC standings and come into first place. They will take on Idaho Thursday and Seattle on Saturday. Both games tip off at 7 p.m. Well, that's all I have for you at sports. We'll be right back with more ATV news.
USU Police Department first started in September of '81. We're here for more than just criminal response. We do a wide variety of community services. We do presentations for various organizations that want information perhaps on alcohol abuse, theft prevention. USU Police Department is here to provide assistance to the community, and that assistance comes through fingerprint services, let-ins, motorist assist, personal escorts, a number of things that we do outside of the scope of just criminal investigation.
Logan City is growing, and that growth has an effect on many aspects of the community.
Lauren Brewer shows you how that growth has changed a local church in Logan.
You might think that this is somewhere in China, but actually, this is here in Logan. And believe it or not, it's a Chinese Baptist church. To find out where this church comes from, we have to go back over 30 years to Utah State University.
The Logan Chinese Baptist Church started out here on campus studying the Bible in Chinese.
And in 2000, the student group got big enough to have a pastor, and after spending years in another church's building, they finally got one of their own. And now that they have their own building, members have noticed a difference.
We do see some more students coming in, especially during the like Thanksgiving and the Christmas special gathering.
But even though there are more people coming, most are college students who graduate and leave, but that doesn't stop the church from helping.
Most of them are from mainland China, and they first come over and then, they don't know anybody, so we try to be helpful to them and try to help out and also, of course, have the chance to share the gospel to them.
And although their numbers often change, the Logan Chinese Baptist Church's new building gives them hope.
We keep this in our mind. We like to, to serve not only the Chinese. So seeing we have this building, when we can do more for the community.
But for now, the church really has only one goal.
We want people to know we exist and come to join us and to say who we are and what we do.
Lauren Brewer, ATV News.
Pastor Chu says with the new building, the Logan Chinese Baptist Church hopes to expand its ministry to the larger Chinese community in Logan.
So, I mean, there's a lot of events coming up here. It should be an exciting week this next week. Hopefully sports will rebound, and hopefully that snow will...
Yeah, hopefully it stops snowing a little bit.
Well, I mean, that'll about do it today for ATV News.
Be sure to join us on Thursday for Cache Rendezvous.